This program is paid for by New Psalmist Baptist Church.
Hey everybody, I want to be the first one to welcome you to our New Psalmist YouTube page. You can come here and hang out and find content that's going to help you grow. Every week we're going to be uploading new material. So if you just need some time and some space to get your head together, to think through some things, and to have a word speak to you, you come here. Now subscribe now.
Come worship at New Psalmist Baptist Church on Sunday mornings at 7:15, 9:30, or 12 noon. Experience life-changing worship and impactful preaching from our pastor, Bishop Walter Thomas. For more information, go to our website, www.newpsalmist.org, or call 410-945-3000.
Oh my God, it all came, it all happened. He now sits on the throne. That's how chapter 1 opens. Ahaziah is now the king of the land. Ahab is dead. Two things quickly happen. Two things quickly come about. And before that chapter ends, before chapter 2 can begin, before the first word can be read in the second chapter of this great book of 2 Kings, before the first thought can be shared in the second chapter, the first chapter ends with this line, and he died. Wait a minute, he's just gotten to the throne. He just got here. His new day has just begun. His moment in the sun has just started. He's just finally a grown man. He's finally a grown woman. She's got the job. Everything is going right for them. Everything is coming up roses for them. And just when it begins, it's over. In fact, Tamber, it's over before it begins. Wait a minute. I don't know how many times I've heard persons crying at funerals. It's over before it began. They had the whole world in front of them, life unfurling before them, but it's over before it even starts. Tip, he ought to be on a cloud. He ought to be floating, but it's over. And I started wondering, how is it over before it begins? Are people right to just cry that this should not have happened? This is so unfair. He's cut down in the morning of his years. He doesn't even have a good chance to live. Everything has gone wicked and wild for him. It's over. But I got something to tell you. Nudge somebody close to you, say, get this. 2 years in his term, he's dead. It's over before he even leaves. In fact, if I hadn't told you his name, you'd never know it. Unless you got through the Bible in 1 year. You wouldn't know Ahaziah. Nobody. He's not Jehoshaphat. He's not one of the other great kings, David or Solomon. He's Ahaziah, a one-chapter king. Just look at the person beside you. Don't say nothing. Just look. I don't want to be a fighting church. And just ask yourself, are they going to be a one-chapter person? I don't know about anybody else, but I don't want to have a one-chapter life. God, I wish I could talk to somebody. Do I have anybody in here who at least wants 5 or 6? In fact, I'll go on, be honest, you want a book named after you. Come on, don't play, don't front, don't try to act super humble. No, I don't need all that. God said, okay, I'll take you out tonight. Because the truth of the matter is, we don't want just one chapter. I don't want to live my life and it just be one chapter. I don't want just to have a dash and nothing. I don't want a funeral with 5 people and their family members. Hello in here. I want my life to count for something. If I'm on somebody's street, just say amen. My God, but he doesn't make more than one chapter. It's over. Before it began, and I started wondering what happened. What went wrong? How was it over before it began? But then it dawned on me there was some stuff I didn't tell you. It's in the text, but you know, we read the Bible, but we don't read the Bible. We read the words. But as they said in English, in elementary school, you have to have reading comprehension. Nudge somebody and tell them, reading comprehension. The text opens by saying, Ahab is dead and Moab has rebelled. Moab has been under the domination of the Israelite nation for years, but now that Ahab, the wicked leader, is dead, they see this as their opportunity to be free of Israel. So they rebel. As Ahaziah realizes he has to mobilize his defenses to fight against them, but at the same time, he has an injury. He falls out of a window. He falls out of a window and hurts himself. These are 2 natural occurrences. The enemy rises up against you. Do I have anybody in church who's had the enemy rise up against you? Can I see the hands of folk who know the enemy will rise? From some place, some direction, he'll come at your finances, he'll come at your money, he'll come at your health, he'll come at your career, he'll come at your relationship, he'll come at your sense of stability. Am I talking to anybody? And if the enemy hasn't come after you, don't die tonight, baby. Promise me you will live long enough to call me and tell me the enemy has found my house. The enemy came after him. That's the first thing. And secondly, he has an injury. His body has broken down. Now, the longer you live, something's going to happen to you. You can take vitamins, you can work out, you can do you can have a facelift, a knee lift, a hair lift, a neck lift, but something's going to break down. I need you to look at the person beside you and say, it will break down. Something will break down. If I have 5 people in church who are on the breakdown squad right now, just wave at me. There are pills and gauze in people's pocketbook, aspirins, Excedrin, and Tylenols. Some of y'all even got Oxycontin in there. Go on and tell the truth. You know, you say, I need it for my pain. Help me, Jesus. Injuries will come. They are natural. But let me help you understand something else. God will give you a new day. Oh, yes, he will. Oh, I feel like preaching now. I feel my help coming. God will give you a new day. Can I see the hands of new day people? God will give you a new day, a day that'll make you shout, a day that'll make you run, a day that'll make you scream, a day that'll make you holler, a day that'll make you cry, a day that'll make you lay out and kick your feet, a day that'll make you run around the house, a day that'll make you just scream at the top of your lungs, because God will do for you what you never expected to have done. God will bless your socks off of you and make you shout out your weave. Somebody better hear me up in this house. Oh, yes, he will. Yes, he will. Yes, he will. But here's the thing. God will give you a new day, but the next thing is on you. What you do with that new day belongs totally to you. What God will give you is a new day, but how you use it belongs to you. He set Ahaziah on the throne, Darren, gave him the nation. The nation is ready for a brand new day. He is seated on the throne. His dream has come true. He's got enemies coming against him. That's normal. He's got injuries he's got to deal with. That's normal. God has given him a new day. Now it's on him what he will do with it. And here's the rub. He called some messengers. Call some messengers. You got a new day. You got enemies and injuries. Y'all ain't get that. Got enemies, externals, injuries, internals. He calls some messengers and sends the messengers to the god of Ekron, Beelzebub, to ask one question. How am I going to do? Am I going to get well? Am I going to get well? And as they are on their way, see, because we talking about he died before it got started. Oh, it's over before it begins. Oh, this is such a shame. Oh, this is so terrible. Oh, this is so pitiful. God gave him all that, then took it from him. Here's the text. While they are on their way to the god of Ekron, Beelzebub, the Lord raises up the prophet Elijah to go talk to them. And Elijah goes to them and says, hey, go back to your king. And you tell your king that the Lord God says this, Jehovah says this. Y'all going to Beelzebub, but tell him Jehovah said this. Because see, everything they have, Jehovah gave them. Tell them Jehovah says, it's gonna get rough now. Tell them Jehovah says, is it because there's no God in Israel that you are going to Ekron, to Beelzebub, and consulting with him? Tell him this, the God of Israel says, you're not getting up off that bed, you're gonna die. Help me, somebody. When they go back and tell the king said, who told you this? What kind of man? They describe him. He said, I know who that is. That's Elijah. But and he sends soldiers down there to get Elijah. But I got news for you. When God stands you up, God will give you courage to keep on standing. And when God stands you up, God will send angels to fight on your behalf. I wish I had somebody who knows God will fight for you. I don't know who I'm talking to, but there are about 25 people in this church today who have seen God send angels to fight on your behalf. When God has stood you up and you have stood flat foot for him, and all hell has broken out against you, an enemy has come up against you like a flood to eat up your flesh, God has made them stumble and fall every time. In fact, why don't you grab somebody and tell them, I'm still standing, I'm still standing. I'm still been through hell and high water, but I'm still standing, I'm still standing, I'm still standing. The enemy tried to take me out, but I'm still here. Tried to take out my mind, tried to take out my health, tried to take out my family, tried to take out my love, but I'm still here, because if God be for me, he is more than the world against me. I don't know who I'm talking to. There's some people mad with you right now. There's some folk in hell mad with you right now because you survived what was supposed to take you out.
Still to come on Empowering Disciples.
God, if I go to the world, then the world is my God. But God woke me up this morning. Jehovah starts me on my way. Jehovah keeps the blood running warm in my veins. And because of Jehovah, slap five with somebody, say, get this. There are sometimes I got to say no.
Come worship at New Psalmist Baptist Church on Sunday mornings at 7:15, 9:30, or 12 noon. Experience life-changing worship and impactful preaching from our pastor, Bishop Walter Thomas. For more information, go to our website, www.newpsalmist.org, or call 410-945-3000.
Hey everybody, I want to be the first one to welcome you to our New Psalmist YouTube page. You can come here and hang out and find content that's going to help you grow. Every week we're going to be uploading new material. So if you just need some time and some space to get your head together, to think through some things, and to have a word speak to you, you come here. Now subscribe now.
Elijah comes, stands, and the enemy that comes after him dies. Eventually, Elijah comes before the king. And the king thinks that his presence will scare Elijah. But when you've met God, you don't scare easy. I need 25 people just to claim that. When you know God, you don't scare easy. Grab somebody and tell them, I'm going to shout on that. Somebody else ought to say, I'm going to tweet that. When you know God, you do not scare easy. You may be broke, but you ain't scared. You may lose your job, but you ain't scared. Why? Because all things work together for my good. Why? Because underneath are the everlasting arms. Why? Because if I cast my cares on him, he cares for me. Why? Because no good thing will he withhold from me. Why? Because he is my Alpha and my Omega. Why? Because they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like an eagle. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Why? Because the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my soul. Of whom shall I be afraid? That's why. When you know God, you don't scare easy. You don't scare easy. Close the government down. I'll still have food on my table. Try to get rid of me. I'll still find a way out of no way. God will open a door nobody can shut, and shut one nobody can open. I don't scare easy. Elijah stands up. After he stands up, everybody's expecting him to jump down. Uh-oh, I'm trying to get to somewhere in this, but I need you to slap five with the person beside you and tell them, ain't no chump sitting here. I don't scare easy. Ah! Elijah says to the king, king thinks he's going to be scared. Soldiers surrounding Elijah. Elijah said, wait a minute, let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you what God told me to tell you. God told me to tell you this. Was there no God in Israel that you sent to the God of Ekron, consulted the God of Ekron? Now let me tell you what God says. You will not get off that bed. It's going to be over before it even begins. Because if you can't live right, you can't lead. You will surely die. And the Bible doesn't say 6 months later. It just says it. I mean, it's so brief. So he died. Killed over. It's over. And this is the king of the nation of Israel, whose God is the Lord. And I started wondering, everybody doesn't die in the sense of keeling over and winding up in the graveyard, King Memorial Park. But some people are walking dead. And to be honest, Terrence, I'd rather be in the grave than a member of the Walking Dead. God, y'all ain't got that. I'd rather go home to be with God than be a part of the Walking Dead. And there are people now who we know who are a shell of what they were. And it was over for them before it began. I started, wait a minute, I'm scared to say this next part. Good, I ain't got much time. And this morning, I'm not preaching to the world's people. The Old Testament is about the children of Israel. This is one of God's folk. And it's over for him before it. He's finished before his promotion. He's a shell before he moves into this big job. He's nothing, even though he's dressed up sharp. He's just coughing clean. I'm just preaching the text. What is it that can make saints lose it before they really get it? And I think I found out what happened. This man is the king. He's the king of the nation. He's grown up in Israel. He's grown up in the palace. He's grown up around the religious trappings. He remembers all of the feast days and all the high holy days and everything that he's had to do. He knows the connection between the throne and the temple. He knows all of that. But I think I understand what messed him up, because it's the same thing that messes up a lot of folk we know. Nudge somebody and says, getting tight now. It's the same thing that messes up people we know who call themselves members of the body of Christ. Oh, God, protect me this morning. I think I know how he lost it before he got it. Christian, his first problem is this. Nudge somebody, say, first problem. His first problem is his faith was form and not function. His faith was form. He did all the religious things right. He learned all the religious language. He learned all the religious activities. He knew the form. The problem was it wasn't function. It wasn't functional in his life. In other words, he came to church, but church never went home with him. In other words, he was in the fellowship, but faith never was formed in him. Let me ask you this. Can you see if you can understand it? I'm going to see if I can give you some cases so you can understand. He could sing on the choir, but if his choir wasn't singing, he ain't have come church. For those who are in serving ministries, if you weren't serving, would you still come to church? For how many of us is our ministry just a job? Because our life does not reflect a function. Oh, it dawned on me, he's lost it before he gets it, because his faith is just form. Comes to church, he sings the right songs, knows it all, does it all, but he never makes the connection between coming to be in the presence of the Lord and the presence of the Lord being in him. See, if the presence of the Lord is in you, there's some things you can't do. Can I get a witness? if the presence of the Lord is guiding your life, there are certain decisions you have to make. You can't go to the God of Ekron if the God Jehovah is your God. What do you mean, preacher? Well, I can't count on the world to make me somebody if God is my God. If I go to the world, then the world is my God. But God woke me up this morning. Jehovah starts me on my way. Jehovah keeps the blood running warm in my veins. And because of Jehovah, slap five with somebody, say, get this. There are sometimes I've got to say no. I need you to grab somebody, tell them sometimes you got to say no. Sometimes you gotta say, y'all ain't feeling it, because you want to have a faith that allows you to say yes to everything. That was his mistake. He thinks that the God of Baal and the God Jehovah are one and the same. But when you've just been hanging around and you haven't been getting in connection with, you will think anything is the same. But the God I serve is a God of holiness, a God of righteousness, a God of love, a God of compassion. I know we don't want to hear it, but if there's anybody in church who knows that our God is holy, I need you to slap five with somebody and tell them our God is holy. He's holy. I'm going to say it till you get mad. He's holy. He's holy. He's holy. He's holy. Holy means different. He is not like this world. He loves you when you ain't lovable. He cares for you when you ain't worth caring for. He'll pick you up and forgive you and dust you off. Our God is holy. And because he's holy, I want to be holy. I want to walk right. I want to talk right. I want to live right. I want to act right. I want to make God proud.
Come worship at New Psalmist Baptist Church on Sunday mornings at 7:15, 9:30, or 12 noon. Experience life-changing worship and impactful preaching from our pastor, Bishop Walter Thomas. For more information, go to our website, www.newpsalmist.org, or call 410-945-3000.
Hey everybody, I want to be the first one to welcome you to our New Psalmist YouTube page. You can come here and hang out and find content that's going to help you grow. Every week we're going to be uploading new material. So if you just need some time and some space to get your head together, to think through some things, and to have a word speak to you, you come here. Now subscribe now.